What is going on, Trash Talkers? We're back with another episode for you. Today, we bring you our mock draft 3.0 with trades. That's right, with trades. Now, we know we just brought you our 2.0, but the entire landscape has shifted since we did that, so we had to do another one for you. So here's Trash Talk Sports Mock Draft 3.0. All that and much more coming your way right now! All right, Nick, we are less than a month away from the 2021 NFL Draft, and I don't want to talk for you, but I'm so excited.
Oh
There are
yeah.
nights that I just sit up and I'm like, I can't freaking wait for this to unfold.
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be one of the best draft classes we've seen in a while. And I know I keep saying it, but it's true. It just is. We're not going to have this next year or the year after or the year after that. It's going to be a while until we see another draft class like this. It was last year's draft class and this year's draft class that are setting the tone for the future of the NFL. So it's very important how this draft class goes. It's going to have such huge implications for years and years to come.
Buckle up because it's about to get pretty bumpy. So let's start with number one. And we jump over to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and surprise, surprise, they take Trevor Lawrence. This guy probably already has put a down payment on a McMansion in Jacksonville already. He's not even attending the NFL draft, which means he knows he's going number one overall. There's just no reason to be there. He's setting up his home. He's getting ready. He's working with Urban Meyer, getting to know everybody, but he is going number one overall. At number two, we have the New York Jets drafting Zach Wilson. At number three, we have the San Francisco 49ers, who traded up last week to get Trey Lance, quarterback out of North Dakota State. We have the Patriots trading up. This is our projection with the Atlanta Falcons to grab Justin Fields, quarterback out of Ohio State, and the Cincinnati Bengals rounding out the top five, grabbing star stud receiver Jamar Chase, pairing him with his old running mate, Joe Burrow. Nick, the floor is yours.
I think it's pretty obvious after we saw Zach Wilson's pro day that the Jets are going to take him. Who didn't fall in love with Zach Wilson after that pro day, the throws he was making? Except we saw that Sam Darnold may have done something like that in a real football game in the NFL. So it begs the question, will the Jets take a quarterback? Absolutely. They're not going to pass up the opportunity on Zach Wilson. They get to press the restart button on Sam Darnold with a new guy, and I think that's exactly what they need to do. Sam Darnold needs to start new elsewhere, and it can't be with the Jets. So I think Zach Wilson is the perfect option for the Jets. Trey Lance is the guy the Niners saw 2 weeks ago and said, we need to go up and grab that guy. That guy has spectacular talent. He just needs a year to grow in our system. Kyle Shanahan said, I know that I can turn him into the next elite quarterback, and that's why they made such a big move to go up and get the third overall pick. The Justin Fields to the Patriots is the only option left for the Patriots. If they don't get Justin Fields, then this is a bust. This whole offseason was for absolutely nothing. It's a complete waste. Justin Fields has to go to the Patriots at number 4. They have to trade with the Falcons to get here. Otherwise, there might be another team that might sweeten the pot and move up ahead of them. So it has to be at number 4, and it has to be for Justin Fields. And number 5, Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is by far and away the best wide receiver in the draft class. You would know that if you saw our Jamar Chase draft profile video. If not, go check that out. But Jamar Chase is a goon. He is a monster, and he's going to be back with Joe Burrow in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I love the picks here. The Jets, they get to hit the reset button, like you said, at the quarterback position. You get Zach Wilson for 5 years. Move on from Sam Darnold. Most NFL GMs who have been speaking with NFL insiders are basically saying Sam Darnold's not worth much on the trade market, a 3 at best, and most people are looking at a conditional 4 at this point. So there's a lot of talk about him being moved. Look for Carolina to be in the mix for him because they're not going to be able to move up to get the guy they wanted in Zach Wilson. But Zach Wilson goes to New York. Trey Lance and Justin Fields come off the board right next because this is the first run of quarterbacks we have seen because it is worth it. These quarterbacks are so incredibly talented. They will be the landscape of the NFL for many years to come. And I believe that this is what we are setting the groundwork for. At number 5, we have the Cincinnati Bengals, and Jamar Chase just makes the most sense here. Reuniting with his old running mate from LSU, Joe Burrow. This guy is going to be a difference maker, not only for the Bengals, but in the entire AFC North. He is going to put defenses on notice. You pair him, you pair T. Higgins. A lot of these guys are going to be absolutely incredible to stop, and this offense is going to be very, very potent for many years to come.
Up next at number 6, we have the Miami Dolphins trading back into the top 10 with the Philadelphia Eagles and drafting Devonta Smith. At number 7, the Lions are grabbing Micah Parsons. At 8, the Carolina Panthers are drafting Kyle Pitts. At number 9, the Denver Broncos are drafting Penny Sewell. And at number 10, the Dallas Cowboys are drafting Patrick Surtain II. Starting off with Devonta Smith, this is the guy that we mentioned in his draft profile video. Brian Flores was all over it earlier in the season at the Senior Bowl. He was all over this guy. He wants this guy. He's made it known. They're going to get him after trading back out of the 12, now back into the top 10 at 6. They're going to get the guy they wanted all along at the perfect price, and they get to gain a little extra. It's a win-win for the Miami Dolphins. They get everything and then some. Micah Parsons to the Detroit Lions is a great fit because they have so many needs. You need to start at the pillars, and one of the biggest pillars on defense is the Mike linebacker, the guy who is centered in the middle of the team, who controls everything else that goes on. And what you saw Micah Parsons do at his pro day was nothing but spectacular. It was absolutely amazing what he did, and that proved that he needs to be off the board immediately. He needs to be the first defensive player to go, and he needs to go to Detroit Lions to help them out. Kyle Pitts, the Carolina Panthers, is there because they can't get a quarterback at this point that they want, that they need. But Kyle Pitts fills a big hole for them. They need a tight end on this team. Ian Thomas is not the answer, and Kyle Pitts is a much better productive tight end that is going to help him out in the long run. Penny Sewell to the Broncos, they fixed their cornerback situation quite nicely in the offseason in free agency. So now you focus on the offensive line. Garrett Bowles has come around and it's working out nicely, and that's why they gave him a long-term deal. But now you need to fix the right side, and you can do that greatly with Penny Sewell, the best right tackle in the draft. And I think that this is going to work out quite nicely for Drew Lock, who needs to prove it this year. And at 10, the Cowboys, they're still looking to fix that secondary. They got DeMonte Kazee and Keanu Neal from the Atlanta Falcons. Now they need to get Trayvon Diggs, his old running mate, back. Patrick Surtain II. They are going to be doing exactly what they did at Alabama, and it's going to be a huge turnaround for the Cowboys this next season.
Yeah, I mean, just to go through it, Devonta Smith makes perfect sense. Him running with Will Fuller and Devontae Parker is going to be an absolutely dynamic trio, and not many secondaries are going to be able to sleep the night before this game, or the week before, for that matter. Micah Parsons with the Detroit Lions, they have so many needs, but you need the field general to bring it all together. Get the guy while you have the assets to do so. You have the offensive side pretty much set. You got some wide receiver issues that you need to fix, but other than that, Micah Parsons will end up being the field general for this defense for many, many years to come. Get him in place and then start working with him to figure out where the team needs are. At number 8, Kyle Pitts going to the Carolina Panthers. This team has not had a plausible tight end since Greg Olsen got old and then left for Seattle. Now you take a look and say, okay, we're going to replace that with Kyle Pitts. Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Kyle Pitts with Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. I don't care who your quarterback is at that point. That is an insane trio to have, or quadruplets to have. Just absolutely absurd. Penny Sewell to the Broncos makes sense. Like you said, Garrett Bowles has come around and actually shown that he was worth the selection that they took him in. So might as well get the opposite side of the line all taken care of for Drew Lock and company. And then at number 10, Patrick Surtain back with Trayvon Diggs in Jerry World in AT&T Stadium working with the Dallas Cowboys. These guys are going to have their hands full, but these guys know how each other work. They know how each other play, and they can work off of each other very nicely. I like Patrick Surtain over Caleb Farley here because of the camaraderie that he already has with Trayvon Diggs. At number 11, we have the New York Giants selecting Kwity Paye. At number 12, we have the Philadelphia Eagles selecting Jalen Waddle. At number 13, we have the Los Angeles Chargers selecting Rashawn Slater. At number 14, we have the Minnesota Vikings taking Elijah Vera Tucker. And at number 15, we have the Atlanta Falcons taking Caleb Farley. At number 11, Kwity Paye to the New York Giants makes a ton of sense. They brought in Danny Shelton. They got back Leonard Williams. Now you're going to get some edge help. You need to work on the edge of this defense, and who better than Kwity Paye in this draft, the top edge rusher. The second most important position on any football team is edge rusher outside of the quarterback. Well, they have their guy in Daniel Jones. The offensive side is pretty much set after the acquisition of Kenny Golladay. Now, let's fix this defense just a little bit. Joe Judge knows exactly what he's doing, working under Bill Belichick for so many years. He's going to get the guy that best fits his defense, and that's Kwity Paye. He can put a hand in the ground. He can stand up. He can play inside if he has to. He can do it all. Joe Judge loves versatility. Kwity Paye will love being a New York Giant. Jalen Waddle to the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles went from 6 to 12, and they still get the guy that they were going to end up drafting anyway. It doesn't matter. Jalen Waddle's an absolute speedster. This guy has shown absolutely everything. The only thing is, can he stay healthy? And who else but the Philadelphia Eagles are willing to take a flyer on a guy that can absolutely burn you but can't stay healthy? I think Jalen Waddle makes a ton of sense, especially pairing him up with his old running mate, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Waddle is going to have some familiarity entering this offense. Rashawn Slater to the Los Angeles Chargers makes a ton of sense. Justin Herbert was running for his life a little bit last year. Let's make sure that's not happening again. Start working on this offensive line, which they did in free agency. They got some really good pieces. Now you get Rashawn Slater, the second best tackle in this draft. Really solidify this thing and make sure your quarterback, your franchise, is standing upright at the end of every play. Elijah Vera Tucker for the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings have lost a lot of key pieces along that offensive line this year. Whether it's right tackle, whether it's offensive guard, Elijah Vera Tucker can absolutely do it all at the next level. A lot of people have him pegged as an offensive guard. He can swing to right tackle, and he can do a damn good job. So whatever the Vikings ask of him, he will be able to do it. His versatility is what allows him to go to the Vikings because they are so balanced in both the pass and run game. Elijah Vera Tucker had both of that at USC during his college career. And Caleb Farley at number 15. This guy is an absolute stud. He runs really fast, as he showed at his pro day. He's extremely strong. I love this guy. I can't believe that he's fell this far. But the Atlanta Falcons, who traded with the Patriots to move back to 15, now get a cornerback to work opposite AJ Terrell, and you can start locking down some of these receivers because if you take a look at their division, we talked about it. You have DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson in Carolina, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin in Tampa Bay. You have Michael Thomas and whoever else the Saints try to bring in. Nonetheless, you need to have at least two top tier corners, and this is what the Falcons are going to be able to do.
Yeah, absolutely. You pretty much said it all. Kwity Paye is the perfect option for the Giants because they filled most of their holes in the offseason, and him next to Leonard Williams makes the most sense. Jalen Waddle to the Eagles is perfect because you need somebody other than Jalen Reagor to throw to, and Jalen Waddle's going to be a perfect offset. Two speedsters on the outside. It's going to be tough for any secondary to handle. Rashawn Slater's perfect for the Los Angeles Chargers because they need to solidify that offensive line. He fits a huge need for them, and they're going to be one of the best rising teams in the NFL this season. The Minnesota Vikings taking Elijah Vera Tucker fills a multitude of holes. As you mentioned, he's so versatile, and so they can use him in different ways. I think that is perfect for the Minnesota Vikings, who need to fill a bunch of holes on the offensive line. And Caleb Farley, I can't believe he's fallen this far just because he had a back procedure that everybody should have known about. It wasn't hush hush. So I don't know why this is a big surprise to front offices now. But Caleb Farley's falling. They're scared of his injury history, even though he's pretty durable. He's got all the athleticism you could want in a corner. He's by far and away the best corner in this draft class. I don't know why he's falling, but the Falcons get a steal here. At number 16, we have the Arizona Cardinals selecting Christian Barmore. At number 17, we have the Las Vegas Raiders selecting Tevin Jenkins. At number 18, we have the Miami Dolphins selecting Jason Owe. Number 19, we have the Washington football team selecting Christian Darrisaw. And at number 20, we have the Chicago Bears selecting Mac Jones. Number 16, Christian Barmore to the Arizona Cardinals is a perfect fit for the Cardinals because you got JJ Watt, you have Chandler Jones, you just need to fix the middle of it, and that's Christian Barmore. He is a thick dude, and he proved a lot against Ohio State in the national championship game. He proved a lot throughout Alabama's national championship run. This guy knows how to play in big games, and if they're going to make the Super Bowl, they're going to need a guy who knows how to play in those situations. Christian Barmore is a great option for the Arizona Cardinals. Tevin Jenkins to the Las Vegas Raiders. They completely overhauled this offensive line for no good reason, honestly. But they pretty much completely rebuilt it, and Tevin Jenkins is the final piece at right tackle. They want to get a guy that knows the position, that's played it before, and Tevin Jenkins has done just that. In college, he played right tackle. He knows the position very well, and so it's a smooth transition for him up to the next level. Jason Owe has proven a ton at his pro day. He has shot up leaderboards, and for good reason. If you can find a defensive end, an edge rusher, who can run a sub 4.4, that's unheard of. It really is. A 4.36 is the fourth best time by any player so far at pro days. Wide receivers, running backs, you name it, he's faster than most of them. It's unbelievable. This guy is going to be a terror for any tackle who has to keep up with him. Washington drafting Christian Darrisaw is a pure need. They need to fix this offensive line for whoever the quarterback is. They need to make sure that quarterback is staying upright, and they can throw their new weapons, Curtis Samuel and Adam Humphries, as well as Terry McLaurin. Mac Jones is going to be a great replacement one day for Andy Dalton. He'll get to learn under a veteran who has done it and had some success. Mac Jones has had his success in college, and he gets to sit a year and learn a little bit more and grow as a quarterback, which is perfect for him. I think that's a great fit for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, so taking a look at number 16, Christian Barmore is an incredibly physically dominant talent that they can add to this defensive line that already gained JJ Watt and had Chandler Jones. I don't know how much better you can get on the defensive line than those three guys, but look out, world, because this D line is hungry and they're about to eat. Number 17, Tevin Jenkins at the Las Vegas Raiders. Tevin Jenkins, he kind of reminds me a lot of Trent Brown, especially being a right tackle. And what he's going to bring to this offense is a lot of stability. They got Colton Miller on the left side. Let's get Tevin Jenkins on the right side, and let's solidify this line. They have Derek Carr. They have some weapons. Let's figure this thing out from the offensive line standpoint. That is a number one priority for both John Gruden and Mike Mayock when it comes to this draft. I believe Tevin Jenkins makes a lot of sense here. Jason Owe, this man is fast. And the Miami Dolphins, who were very close to making the playoffs last year, they have their second of their first round picks, and they take the fastest defensive end that they can. This guy comes off the edge at lightning quick. He is going to be a problem for offensive tackles to stop, and a lot of offensive coordinators are going to have a tough time trying to scheme against him, not only because of how fast he is, but how strong he is. He can also run through you. That's a big problem when you're talking about some of the edge rushers in the NFL. Then we move over to Washington. Christian Darrisaw is going to have to replace Trent Williams. It's that simple. The left tackle position was definitely a major issue for Washington last year, and staying upright is, something that they're going to need to do, especially with Ryan Fitzpatrick at the helm. He is not a mobile quarterback. You don't have that luxury anymore, so you have to find somebody who's going to be able to, protect that blind side. Might as well be Christian Darrisaw. And at number 20, we have Mac Jones Chicago needed to find a way to get one of these quarterbacks. Mac Jones ended up falling to them. I believe that he is leaps and bounds better than Andy Dalton and Nick Foles, who are both on their roster. Hell, I think he's even better than Mitchell Trubisky, who led them to the playoffs. So I believe Mac Jones is a downright upgrade from where they've been. Now they need to see if they can put it all together, see if it works with the pieces that they have. Otherwise, this could all be for naught if they end up losing a lot of these pieces moving forward. At number 21, we have Gregory Rousseau going to the Indianapolis Colts. Number 22, we have the Tennessee Titans selecting J.C. Horn. At number 23, Jalen Phillips being selected by the New York Jets. At 24, the Pittsburgh Steelers take Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. And at number 25, the Jacksonville Jaguars stick with Trayvon Merrick. At number 21, Greg Rousseau is one of the most physically dominant and powerful defensive ends that we have in this draft class. He's a strict defensive end. He's not going to stand up like every edge rusher who can take their hand out of the ground, be in the 2-point stance. This guy reminds me a lot of Myles Garrett. He's extremely top heavy. He's going to do one thing and one thing only, and that is rush the passer and hard every single play. I like him next to DeForest Buckner because this defense is going to be very strong, very long, and very lean. And I like these guys together. At number 22, J.C. Horn going to the Tennessee Titans. You lose Malcolm Butler. You lose Adoree Jackson. You got to fix this defensive backfield if you have any chance of making the playoffs again. J.C. Horn is the best corner available. That's where you have to go. There's some other positions that you might want to think about, especially at the wide receiver position or maybe even tight end. It's too early for both of those. You got to go with the guy that's going to help you on the defensive side of the ball. Mike Vrabel knows something. He knows a little something about defense. I'm going to give him J.C. Horn. The New York Jets get an absolute stud in Jalen Phillips coming out of Miami. This guy ran an incredibly fast 4.56 40-yard dash, extremely fast, not as fast as Jason Owe, but fast in and of his own right. At 6'6", this guy is absolutely incredible. He was the number one high school recruit coming out of his class, and then he had some injuries that he dealt with at UCLA. It, caused some teams to let him drop on their boards a little bit. But next to Greg Rousseau at Miami, he absolutely flourished. And if he was on the New York Jets, I believe he's going to continue that rise. Look for Jalen Phillips to go to New York and absolutely shine. I like the Pittsburgh Steelers taking Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. If there's a team that has specific needs and they don't care and they take a linebacker anyway, it'll be the Pittsburgh Steelers. They know how to draft the linebacker position. Losing Bud Dupree is a major loss for this team. Owusu-Koramoah will fill that role very nicely for them. Him opposite TJ Watt is going to be scary for offensive lines all around the league. Then you take a look at the offensive line. Maybe they could have gone there, but so many offensive linemen have already been taken. It'd be very tough to take one here when Owusu-Koramoah is still on the board. You get one of those guys. Maybe you bring back Villanueva and see what happens from there. At number 25, we have Trayvon Merrick. Merrick is the most dominant safety we have on this board in this draft. The Jaguars have done a really good job of rebuilding this team through free agency, gaining draft picks to be able to offset and supplement through the draft and build the foundation. Merrick is one of those guys who's a ball hawk. He's going to be able to be the back end leader of this defense and really take it over for many years to come. I like Merrick with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I think you had it right with Gregory Rousseau. He's going to have some time next to DeForest Buckner to learn and develop. He doesn't have to be the star that a lot of people want him to be right away. He'll have some time to grow into that role, and so it'll be perfect for him in Indianapolis. J.C. Horn with the Titans, this is purely out of need. They lost Malcolm Butler. They lost Adoree Jackson. You have to fix that position right away. You got to fill that hole. J.C. Horn does just that. Jalen Phillips to the Jets is a great addition. You already got Carl Lawson. Now you get Jalen Phillips on the outside with Quinnen Williams in the middle. This defense is coming together nicely. He is going to be great. He's getting comparisons to Montez Sweat, who is a speedster in his own right. Great speed rusher for the Washington football team. If he can be like Montez Sweat, then that's a success. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah to the Steelers will be perfect to offset what Bud Dupree is leaving behind. He's not the edge rusher Bud Dupree was. He's more of a pass coverage guy, but he can play inside, outside. He can rush the edge. He can play everything. He can help in the run game. He's so versatile, and that's why he's going so high. He can really do it all. And then Trayvon Merrick, like you said, best safety in the draft class. He can play in the box. He can play over top. He reminds me a lot of Justin Reed for the Houston Texans. They play very similar, and they have top end speed to keep up with a lot of wide receivers and tight ends. At number 26, the Cleveland Browns are selecting Zaven Collins. At number 27, the Baltimore Ravens are selecting Rashad Bateman. At number 28, the New Orleans Saints are selecting Greg Newsome II. At number 29, the Green Bay Packers are selecting Kadarius Toney. And at number 30, the Buffalo Bills are selecting Sam Cosmi. Starting with the Cleveland Browns selecting Zaven Collins. Like we said in our draft needs video, they need two positions, edge and linebacker. Pretty much the same position, but Zaven Collins can do both. He can play inside, he can play outside. This dude is a freak of nature, my favorite player in this draft class. He is going to be a stud and goes to the perfect team. They are truly a Cinderella story in the making. The Baltimore Ravens selecting Rashad Bateman. That you got Sammy Watkins, but is he really an upgrade over Willie Snead? Who knows? But Rashad Bateman, we know he's a big body. He's going to do a lot. He's going to really perform for them and be the X factor that they were looking for to get Lamar Jackson. He's going to really help this team out. At number 28, the New Orleans Saints, Greg Newsome is filling Janoris Jenkins' hole as the number 2 corner. You have Marshawn Lattimore and now Greg Newsome. This secondary needs to stay strong. This defense needs to stay strong while you go through quarterback change. Nothing much has changed elsewhere. I think that Greg Newsome is the perfect fit for the New Orleans Saints. The Packers taking Kadarius Toney. They're finally answering the prayers of Aaron Rodgers. They need to get this man another weapon because he's going to leave. He's going to force a trade if you don't. And Kadarius Toney is the burner that he's never had, that Aaron Rodgers has never had. And he's going to be a perfect offset to Davante Adams. And Sam Cosmi, they don't really need an extra tackle in Buffalo, but when you look at the roster, they don't really need an extra of anything. Sam Cosmi is perfect because even if you don't have the need for a tackle, you still need depth because this position, if it goes down, as we saw in the Super Bowl, you're going to be paying a big price if you don't have one. So it's better to have an extra than have none.
Yeah, I mean, quickly, Zaven Collins to the Browns makes a ton of sense. We had this in our last mock draft, so I don't want to spend too much time here, but Rashad Bateman, perfect offset for Hollywood Brown. It makes a ton of sense, which means the Baltimore Ravens probably won't do it. But Rashad Bateman, he's big, strong, he's quick for his size. He can get up and grab those 50-50 contested catches. Everything that Hollywood Brown can't do, Rashad Bateman can do and is known for. At number 28, Greg Newsome going to the New Orleans Saints. You said it, Janoris Jenkins is gone. Eli Apple did not work out in this system. Now it's all about Marshawn Lattimore and now Greg Newsome II. Let's get these guys rolling. Let's get this defense ready to go because they're going to have to carry the load, especially in such a offense-heavy division with the Carolina Panthers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Atlanta Falcons. This team is going to need a lot of help, and the defense is going to have to provide a lot of that for them. At number 29, Kadarius Toney. Aaron Rodgers must have been praying to somebody good because he does get that speedster that's going to help offset Davante Adams. Adams is a possession catcher. He is a slant guy. He is somebody who's going to run short routes and run with the ball after the catch. Kadarius Toney is a guy that can take the top off the defense and actually scares defenses into having to either double cover him or at least hold the safety over the top. So it's going to provide a lot more one-on-one coverage for Davante Adams. Not only does his being there, allow for another target, but his being there takes away notice from defenses on Davante Adams, which is going to help them absolutely immensely. And at number 30, we have Sam Cosmi. The Bills could utilize a new tackle. They brought back Darrell Williams, and now they add Sam Cosmi. Darrell Williams is on the back end of his career. Get a young tackle in there. He's going to be able to grow with Josh Allen and this offense. Get some young blood in there, and while he can learn from the veterans, he can also be a nice swing tackle for you. There's not a lot of need for this team, like you said, so let's see what they can do here. And rounding out the 2021 NFL draft, we have the final two selections. At number 31, we have Liam Eichenberg going to the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 32, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Super Bowl champions, are selecting Azeez Ojulari coming out of the University of Georgia. Liam Eichenberg is an absolutely incredibly dominant tackle. He is physically imposing, and he has the entire build and length and structure to be a top end left tackle for many, many years in the NFL. He's got to work on his speed for speed rushers. Outside of that, he is going to be able to protect the blind side of Patrick Mahomes for a long time. And with the losses of Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz, this is a major need for this team. At number 32, you talk about a team that doesn't need anything, like need anything. It's the current Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So let's give them a little edge. JPP's not getting any younger. This defensive line had some injuries last year. Let's give them a little more depth at edge rusher. Shaq Barrett is coming back, but you can never have too much pass rush. Azeez Ojulari is coming in to help out the cause, and he is one of the fastest guys you can have coming off the edge. He will work perfectly with Shaq Barrett and JPP and these guys.
Absolutely. Liam Eichenberg to the Kansas City Chiefs. He'll fit perfectly in that Eric Fisher role, taking over the blind side of Patrick Mahomes. This guy did it at Notre Dame. He was a rock solid left tackle, and he's going to do just that in the NFL. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, like you said, no holes, but Azeez Ojulari adds some depth at the linebacking core in case one of Shaq Barrett or JPP go down, and then they can fill him right in. He'll fit in perfectly. He's a winner at Georgia, and I think that's going to translate to the NFL, and I think this is a perfect selection for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
All right, well, that's going to do it for now. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. We go live every single day. That'll be all. Peace and love.